Also, we need to take advantage of the classroom, Zoom class, so we can virtual see it. And for the well, last time we did the persimmon, and we talk about the we talk about the pronunciation. The sound of the persimmon shi is the same sound with the thin, right? Thin, and we have a phrase say everything goes well as a wish, or as the lucky phrase. The video goes okay. I saw it was not available. Okay, we have things to we paint persimmon, and we wrote, or we are going to write the words of things goes well, and the thing for cursive writing is very different from the walking standard, and yeah, because some people like the cursive style, and I give you all of them. You can choose, but of course, as Emily said, this seems she did very good, and she said she just follow the sample example, and not feel you know, why it's so different looking with the standard one, and why it become like that. Well, most of the answer I can give is you know, some certain form in cursive style is just it by itself, the form of that, yeah, very small percentage of that, but there are about I would say like one third of the percentage like that. Some of parts of them like that, yeah. For example, like the this mouth, right? Mouth in walking style like that, and we all know, we all learned in cursive style. I would always say it's become 12, right? This kind of things. Okay, in other words, this is become the form already. And if you want to create some things, see, if you want to do like the circle, no. So with some form, there are people all can recognize it's a certain form, not the things you think you can create, you know, become how faster than walking, then become like that. Like that. And also I will do it again very quick for this thing in the, say, walking, right, a little bit faster than the standard, right, like that. Say whatever I call it, walking or standard, like that, right? It become cursive style can be very easy to do, not common people for to do. Actually, we do have the two forms for that, just more connected than that. You know, you can do, but still you can tell it's from this the and then mouth, and then this very quick, you know, something like that. Or people do like the, we know this is the whole basic structure. lots of horizontal thing and one vertical thing. So we can divide it that many messy horizontal thing divided in like two parts. This part become the small curve of the number 3 looking thing, and this part become the larger things, and that's it. And then back to center to do the vertical thing. And eventually I can okay, put it here. So become just a small cursive things, like a number 3 things indicated this part, and that things indicated this part, and back to center, try to do the vertical things, and with some rhythm here, vertical things a little bit longer. That's I think I can explain a little bit why it become that, but I guarantee your writing, Emily, every people, even nowadays people, common people, they will recognize it. If you really want to ask me why it's become that, it's a form people can recognize already, and also it's probably, I didn't ask the classical people, some things, indicated that part and that part a little bit larger, and then vertical a little bit. That's why I said, a little bit longer and across this. Sometimes we back things here, put a dot, right? But this try to indicate the vertical stroke. So try to go a little longer and cross it. And talking about the number 3 for you, too easy for us to remember. Even for me, sometimes I remember this way. But the starting stroke, yeah, you can check back the example again, handout. Keep the horizontal looking, yeah, not the curvy looking number 3. So like that. One small, one big, and better, and back to the center to the vertical. Small, big, vertical, and keep the not exactly the number looking, is calligraphy looking with the horizontal at the starting place. Okay, and also the other word for we learned the meaning, right? Everything goes well, like my meaning, or as I expected, something like that. So the E, these characters, and with the center is the sun or day, right? And with the bottom of the heart. Yeah. The heart, this stroke goes not straight like that. So a little bit curve, but direction is kind of diagonal from the left top to the bottom right. But in the process, as a little bit of curve, and the people think this is like the meaning is heart, right? So like nicely hold some things together, become center looking thing, some things like that. So that. Okay, I try to find the basic stroke looking thing. That's why I got a couple of minutes late. I try to find this to explain. So in the basic looking, can you see that? We have like a one stroke and connect with hook. We have three kind here. This one more straight, but still a little bit curve and more vertical looking. Sometimes I'm not sure, seems we didn't meet yet, but there is, see, more closer to vertical. I mean, from the top and then the hook. And there is the center one. This one is the things we do for heart or for the bottom of the meaning, because meaning is from heart. That's why I put the heart radical there. And this one in Chinese is called 卧钩. It's called a lie down. So this is kind of more close to vertical, right? More vertical and more standing. And this is what we call a line stroke and with the hook. So when you line down, not totally that kind. So compared with this one is line, but not flat, not flat. And the stroke itself, not 100% straight. More appreciate a little bit of curve, And there is another one you do not want to be, not in this case, not the heart case, is the totally like the straight, perpendicular at the turning part. Is the vertical and the horizontal and then hook. That's in other characters. So we have a three. It makes some different meanings there. So that's why I choose this together and show you that make more sense. So there's the one in the heart part, the stroke should be like that. It's a kind of a line or sit in a line. Like the position in the Emily, your chair. I saw that in your chair. We call that chair, kind of the IKEA chair there. The wood, the wood one with the cushion. We call that kind of a chair. In China, we call line chair. Yeah, not totally flat like the bed, but the line chair. We used to call this kind of we do not have the sofa traditionally, right? We have the red wood, very hard wood one. Sit straight, right? Sit straight. In Chinese, that shows respect. Yeah, we call sit need to be like the bell. Yeah, sit like a pine tree, which means very straight. Sit there, standing like the to stand like the pine, and to sit like the bell, which means straight, also means straight, and they put the two hands like that. But we call that IKEA chair as a line down chair. Anyway, so with some curve, this kind of hook stroke with some curve, yeah, but not vertical like not this perpendicular things here. It's like that. Okay. So you want to do the heart part like that. Right. Some like the clerical style is on the hard surface, right? There is not very curve. You cannot make this nice curve one, right? That's why it become the very straight in clerical style for this one, right? Clerical style like do like that. something like that, right? That's the calligraphy style. That's the style need to be. Yeah, Emily, you did perfect, very beautiful, yeah. But other, for faster writing things on paper, suppose some curve, yeah. And if you do that, not this case, yeah, not this case. Okay, that's how much for the homework. Okay, I need to say, and then let's move on to today's characters. Today's characters is kind of easy, but I think both the two characters are very useful. And the phrase is really a good phrase. We need to learn the characters and some basic strokes for chrysanthemum. Okay, the two parts, right hand out. Left is the radical part, and the right is the main part. How many people learn this? Kathy, did you learn the radical in this characters already? You are just starting your Chinese class, right? So did you do the radical, this radical? Did you meet this radical any place?
Not yet. We're just doing finals and yeah, we're just doing pronunciation.
Pronunciation and like a phonetic part, the pinyin part for the spoken, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this is, any people do that? Mike, do you do that? I do not want to ask Emily. Any people else do that?
What the one on the left? People?
Yes. We learned, right? We learned.
Yeah.
And do they have the kanji in Japanese for that? I don't know.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, same thing.
Almost all of them are the same. Almost all.
Right. Okay. Okay. This part I said is the and Kathy, you are learning it very soon because in the ni house ni. Right, Emily? Ni hao. Yeah, every people do that. Ni hao, the ni, because something to do with the people. We send greeting to people. Okay, so this is the people's radical, and the right hand part. We learned already. Is two of them, earth or ground, to pronounce as, but very seldom we use that individual, right? Or on soil. Okay. So the translating for the characters is the good, beautiful, excellent. Do you have any question for why there is the people radical here? Because this actually used a lot for beautiful in people, beautiful lady, beautiful girl, and also we use beautiful here is for flower, right? For flower.
Victoria?
Yes.
Victoria, can it be used all by itself to be beautiful?
I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm going to say it. Yes, but mostly in the poem and the poetry. So it's a good word, but seldom in the spoken language. We have another word. I think we learned, but kind of complicated, probably couldn't remember it. May, remember it a little bit refreshed, right? The May. This May you can use everywhere, but actually more spoken is other word 漂亮, right? 漂亮. Yeah, you always say, oh, your clothing is very 漂亮. Other word, spoken language, or oh, you look very 漂亮 today. You know, 漂亮 used everywhere. We will learn later. And this May, very interesting. I can talk a little bit about the Chinese upper part. Upper part is the goat, sheep,
sheep,
yang,
yeah,
right? Yang. And the lower part, what's that? Da, right? Big. Big. So put them together. How Chinese think make this word. If you see the big, large sheep or large goat, you consider beautiful. Well, originally, probably, sheep to people, for sheep hair, or for people think about the meat for food is important. We also call this May, this beautiful, is delicious food. So, and then of course, nowadays later, it extend meaning for any like landscape beautiful, building beautiful, use this word. But original, if I put them apart, the meaning is big sheep, big goat, beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, see here, 2 horns, big sheep. Oh, that's the beautiful thing. Okay, anyway, so back. This beauty is with people's radical. So this basically is in poem and in poem poetry, and here for also common for flower. Flowers, do you have the word? Do you use the word for personification? So if you think the flower is beautiful, do you call it, oh, she probably needs more water. I give her more water. Do you say that? Or in the poetry, this beautiful flower, look at her. She has the blush there on the petal. Some things in Chinese, I found the word, but I checked it in the Google. The English give me is for personification, which means you put some person's mood to think of, to consider some lovely things for flower or some things.
Some of us do that.
Pardon me?
I do. Some of us do that.
Oh, okay, yeah. That, I'm telling you why this with people radical normally say people, but use flower as well. Beautiful color, use your flower as well. Okay, that's why I said for flower. Why you didn't ask me? Why have with this people's radical people's radical there? Anyway, okay, let's move because chrysanthemum, why become the four gentlemen in the Chinese traditional painting? Is the she is the last beautiful flower in the autumn all year traditionally, right? For the common flower, she is the last one, and we appreciate the beautiful color in the this season. Anyway, so walking just to become, faster. Faster going. Actually, for the right part, okay, let's go on. People's radical, just 2 strokes like that, right? Even shorter, doesn't matter. Okay, and then right hand part, some people like same thing, like a 2 earth, and some writing change the stroke order, do that very simplified, become like that. Vertical first, horizontal first, and then back vertical, and 2 of them in the center, and then the bottom one. Same thing. Put those 2 earth together with just a simplify of the horizontal and the vertical things. The vertical is become 1 all the way down. Up to you, doesn't matter. Actually, for this walking one, I cannot really tell. It's two parts or whole together, Just let you know it's all possible to put them together. Seems like together, right? Seems like together. Okay. For the cursive one, just mainly to simplify the people radical, become a little, it's like the 1 stroke, and then connect. This time we can easily to tell the 2 earths put together. Okay. 1 stroke, and then become horizontal, and then back to the center, vertical, and then 2 of them, and then to seal at the bottom. That's how you do the cursive one. Clerical one, we can tell 2 together, right? But because of this style, put them very flat looking and together. So look very dignified looking, very stable looking. And you write it, it goes slower. See the slant, instead of lifting, actually bounce back by some pressing. See this part larger, right? And then backstroke for the vertical. Not too long. Mine one is a little bit too long already. Okay, then the 4. Oh, I forgot to say the earth part. The bottom one a little bit longer, than the top one. I mean, for the 2 horizontal things. Goose tail flying for 1 stroke. Okay. Sample is more even, right? More even, even more better looking. give you the dignified looking. That's what we want. Okay. Yeah, when you do homework or you want to copy on your do exercise, do practicing, and later copy it on your painting to use, look at the example handout again. And I always say that my writing is not as good as the example one. The example it looks not perfect for the quality. Actually, this is the original they got from the copy from the stone or some very old the copybook. People's real writing, master's writing. We say learn from the master, learn from the higher master, and you got medium, and learn from a medium teacher, you got a lower. So always give you the example from the master. I'm in class, I just let you know the principle, the rule, and demo you how to do that to explain. Okay, this is color. Small and not too small, slant. And horizontal, smaller slant. Almost parallel. You made the first part and then the lower part. But do not keep them too apart, too spacey here. Do not do that. Okay, almost touched. Horizontal and vertical, but with some angle. Prettier. Small vertical. Sometimes put a little bit direction there and like the dot. Some people. And then big. This is we talk about another kind of the hook. Vertical and almost perpendicular for the turning part to do the horizontal, but soft turning part, not like that. Okay, horizontal to this part, soft. Then pause, stretch out to do the hook. Okay. Walking style, the upper part become a little bit bigger. Actually, try to do the faster writing and seems simplify the center of this part a little bit, right? That's why to make whole of this box part a little bit smaller, otherwise too spacey, right? Okay, so this part stayed almost the same, right? And you do like the two connected horizontal things. So this stroke indicated this stroke, and also a little bit hint of this. So that's good enough. And then like that, don't even to do the hook, because faster. Walking style is mostly just for faster writing of a standard. And the cursive one also, running is faster than the walking, so make it more cursive. See this part, this stroke even doesn't do the bottom horizontal one. Just do some box-like stroke, but not too rounded. With some kind of still horizontal, and the horizontal back for the horizontal. Okay, then the small hook. So basically, you can do very fast when you practice a few of them, like that, right? And like that, and the back to the center, kind of and small. Things like that. For yeah, you do kind of the more vertical here and more horizontal here to avoid too rounded, because we know it's from kind of the squarish box there, right? That's why we're supposed to do in the calligraphy style. Okay. Let's continue. This one is the clerical style. Actually, for the first stroke, you do not have to fly that extreme high, but I kind of like this style though. Anyway, you can do, you know, just as normal. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to fly that high. One stroke by one stroke, right? And keep it flat. Or this part, you know why I'm choose this? Just a personal like or not. I mean, you don't have to. You can do it like that. We call when people when people talk some things is really a mood, happy mood shows on their face. We call the eyebrow. Oh, look at her. The eyebrow with eyebrow is flying. Eyebrow is flying, and the beauty on her face, like everything is dancing, and the eyebrow seems, you know, very high, and the eyebrow is flying. You know, I think, oh, this style I chose is from master. Look at the beautiful color, the color things. Oh, eyebrow is flying. Looks like that. Yeah, just I mean, if you like this kind of the looking, you can do that. And also kind of the stroke, like a balanced from the big stroke at the last, right? So you can do that a little bit over. Eyebrow is flying. So I mean, this last stroke is very big, right? And then that stroke, if you write very, very big, also can kind of the balance this stroke, right? See, the example one does this also very, very large. Okay, that's how much. Any questions about the characters we learned today? Okay.
I do just a small thing. It looks like one of them you do kind of a flying goose tail on the clerical. And so is that another way to do it, or?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Actually, the goose tail flying. Okay, and any place for this style. Actually, more showy is the goose tail part. Actually, the things really the very basic inside thing is when you do those everywhere. You feel carving mood. Mm-hmm. This goose tail flying just for very, 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 very showy place. You do not have to any place with goose tail flying, you do not have to follow. And also like if there is not very obvious, because I said I choose the sample from like the whole thing for people's real writing, right? Sometimes it depends on the context. People probably just wrote the characters previous with the big goose tail flying, and this character doesn't want to show that much, you know. So very depends. And if you change, if you do not see any goose tail flying, you can make one. You think the right place, the stronger one, to show people. See, I know that. Yeah, perfect. No problem. So it's very depends. Not the very hard rule there. You can or cannot, or it make two styles. You can decide, and it's time. Many times, Emily, I want in the class, and I didn't do that. I want to say, Emily, show me so far now. Do you want by guess how to do this character without looking at the example? Can you do the clerical style? So for that, actually we can right now. Because we know, some rules make it flatten, and curving mode to do each stroke, and at the dominant stroke for the horizontal one, you do only one goose tail flying. That's it. So you can by guess to know that. Actually, very easy, I will say. Okay, let's do some basic the chrysanthemum practice. Got the handout, right? In the okay. I got the from my garden. I got the leaves for chrysanthemum. Is focused? You can see that. Clear? Okay. For different, there is many types of chrysanthemum leaves, right? Chrysanthemum leaves. They are almost the same, and some a little bit, squarish, some are more rounded. Especially in the xie yi painting. We do that very xie yi, but basic like the gongbi to do. We want to know the exactly part of that. See, look at about five parts, right? About the 5 parts, and but a little bit different from the pine tree or some sycamore tree. A little bit longer, the shape a little bit longer. So if you do the outline, it's like the upper part and this part a little bit, right? And a little bit, and this, the bottom part a little bit, some part, right? Something like that, right? And then the vein, do that, right? And the vein. And some smaller vein. On the back, the veins shows even clear. And the back side, the color a little bit lighter, right? That's common for leaves. The back side a little bit lighter and the front a little bit darker, dark green, right? Okay, so I put it here and look at the handout. We know 5 parts of that. Look at the sample. Okay, since we got the leaf here. Actually, first one, see the only, the left top, the corner one, to simplify, even lots of place, even not 5 parts, only 3 parts. See that? See that? Okay, so simplified, only three parts. Some are 5. Okay, and this 协议 style means right meaning, right? Not the Gongbi style. And look at it. We try to use not just 100% dark ink. Try to make the light ink. How to make a light ink? Put the water first. Emily is getting some plate or a saucer, some things. Yeah, water first. Okay, and a little bit ink there. Otherwise, how do you make the light ink, right? Not absolute ink. A little bit ink. I'm just use my this brush to give a little bit ink. I got too much water here though. Anyway. Okay. See, this is the light ink, right? I can make it darker. I got too much water actually. And then use another, use the clean brush. Yeah. Use the clean brush, dip in the water first. Okay, this brush better. I use my this brush, soft hair brush. Doesn't matter hard and soft, but I want to show the color. This brush, dip in the water first to wet it, totally damp it. I got water. See, not ink, huh? It's white. And then only tip or 1/3 of the brush to get the light ink. Only 1/3, okay? Only 1/3. Or sometimes even the light. Even less than 1/3. Okay, see, back of my brush is still white, right? And then you got that kind of use side brush to do the 3 strokes. My ink is too light. Only 1/3 or the tip, dip in the ink and do stroke like that, side brush. Side brush. You got this kind of the stroke. Understand? With some, yeah, with some gradation for that. Okay, that's do some 协议 for the chrysanthemum leaves. Okay, I dip again. Remember, do not like the wash back and forth like this way to stir to mix your brush. That will cause your whole brush evenly load. You cannot do this kind of things with gradation. Okay. Okay, again. Only 1/3, or what you call tip, depend on the usage you want. Okay, look at the second one of that. One this direction longer and the other this direction, right? 3 parts of that. And then you're supposed to wait a little bit. My paper is very cheap paper for yeah, not a good paper, very smeary anyway. And then dark ink for the vein and for the this kind of little branch things, main veins. So, okay, now you can dip in the darker ink. Only tip. Notice, for example, you are not doing the outer line. See that? The 协议 style, you do not do the outer line. That's gombi line. This for the shape, basic shape in our mind. Now what do? You do the vein. Main vein first. Okay, this is the where it comes from, right? And do very quick, not straight. And then small vein, and this vein, this vein kind of become and outline thing, very shady and small vein. And this part, because it's vein, not outline, doesn't have to be very symmetric to flip like that side. Okay, you do this like the, and some small vein, very shady. Just remember, kind of you use the vein to do very freestyle to instead of the outline. You do not really do the outline. Okay, and that's do the how to say, the second line part, kind of the longer leaves. In our mind, different perspective for these 5 parts, and you can think of how to twist it, right? How to flip it for the color. Okay, when you need this part to become dry, right? The water part become dry. You want to reload ink. Same thing. You do not want to totally submerge your brush in this ink. Some people use the little dropper to put a little bit of water at the bottom part or the what we call belly part of the bristle. You can use also you can use the clean brush to drop, to give it a little bit of water, still clean water, not ink, to, to add more water when it dry. And then same way to do, only 1/3 for the light ink. Same way to do. See, to keep your brush still with gradation. Understand? Yeah, that's why how to reload ink, but still keep the your brush more, with some gradation with light ink. See, when you do with some the leaves, okay, one part seems here, and one part here, with some things. And later, when you do wing, kind of, you got another chance to form it, to give you another chance to do. Okay, now if get rid of extra ink, you can do this way, but never do this way. Okay, do this way. To adjust the bristle things for the right direction, tip it. Okay, and then light, darker ink to do things for the vein. Where is the main vein? Very subjective. Some things I can, here is the leaf, here is some vein curved, and do that very stiff, symmetric. Some leaves like that, and all of them same principle. You can do more when you practice, and you keep that. You always need that. And for that, so we do the shape for that for 5 parts, like outline things, like everything. We learn the rule, and then we know how to freely use that. We break the rule when we keep these 5 parts shape in your mind, and then we do 斜移, even 3 parts, or flip, twist a little bit for the real leaves, to do in the real painting. And also, I need to say, for orchids, we say leaf part is the main part for whole painting. Chrysanthemum part, leaves are not important. So you practice some of this 斜移 part, good enough. And the main part is the flower. So you want in the whole painting, you want something you put emphasis on, and some are very void. We call some solid things and some void, not totally void. Put some things not detailed evenly everywhere, right? Okay, so the chrysanthemum flower is very mainstream. People literally like it to do it the straight. Very actually calligraphy stroke. Okay, basically the leaves are like a two strokes to make one petal. And you kind of decide where is the center. First, let's do very first one. You put very, not this brush, sorry. Okay, so you can do a little like the center looking things, or even chocolate, or in your mind, I want to show, be seen, right? And then you do the two strokes to form with the put some water there in my calligraphy stroke. Brush. Two strokes like that to form the petal. to form the petal. And you do not have to, if it's facing you, outer shape is rounded, right? And the different layers, you can add second layers with a different length, not very even. Some, some even just half. Some things like that, right? But this is the very standard one, and the very rare chance in the real painting. There is the one like that facing you, right? Like that. Almost each of them with some direction or with some perspective, right? So you decide the center, and then if it's up some, you can make some upper one longer, and this part a little bit shorter, right? Very fun. I mean, to do this things for practicing. So very easy to tell. This one is kind of a, side perspective, right? And also you making some things like towards the left-hand side. You can tell it's towards that side, right? So you change the, you decided where is the center, and you think of where to make the longer petal, or where to make the smaller petal. And also, of course, lots of tricks. You want to do some flower, look at that, a little bit like two horns, or some, not the perfect round, not the perfect smooth rounded. Some stick out things will be, look at the sample, will be more beautiful, right? And also, if you do one stroke, freestyle one, I think we practiced last year. You do like the press and lift, press and lift, and press and lift, to the center, press and lift, 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 press and lift. You can cross also, press and lift. Something like that. And also, the very interesting one is on the bottom of left page and the bottom right of that, some like the spoon shape for the petal, some things like that. So you do the petal like that, like two strokes for this kind of curly things. So you do the center things to your side, you do that, right? And that side, you do a little bit just around, or some things like that. And you do the second layer of that. And, sometimes a little bit of the direction, a little bit, you can change the direction a little bit. In the real things, it's like that. Okay, you can do, with fun to do the practicing of that. something like that. Okay, and also see the the orange one at the left page on the top line, the orange one with color, right? With the orange color. And the people, two way to do the color. One is you can kind of fill in or put some color, not fill. I will explain next week. Do the color, do the line first, and then to fill the color. And the other way is you feel more comfortable, you do the color first. Look at the orange one, and you directly use the brush. Yeah, look at that. Directly the brush, thinking of in your mind the shape of the flower. You can do like that. Look at the orange one, right? Seems something like that. And then you use brush. You do not want just this kind of the things. You want some line shows. Doesn't have to be perfectly fit. You do the, you do line like that. The color in the center, not good example because I use old ink. This later. That's why the example put the orange one with the color stroke first, and then put the ink line there to show brush strokes, right? That's one of the beauty for the Chinese painting, always some lines there. Okay, I think that's how much we can do for today's class. And the next class, we will do the whole chrysanthemum painting and put the one more character, I think, to have on it to learn. And we'll put a phrase of the autumn. We learned, right? Autumn chrysanthemum have beautiful color. Because beautiful color in the autumn, with lots of falling stuff already, dried stuff already. This beautiful color is very pleased, very pleased, and literally like chrysanthemum a lot. That's why it become one of the four gentlemen. And what's good for it? Why literally like that? Anybody know that? Why choose the chrysanthemum as one of the four gentlemen? Why? Can you think of? Okay, seems like life is tough. Life is tough, but chrysanthemum is in the better situation. Not afraid of cold weather. Even become cold, but other tender flower is dying, but chrysanthemum is very strong, stand there and until the very cold winter, even with the frost. Okay, so live very well, very tough in the not easy situation. Literally appreciate that. And also to put some like symbolic things on the flower sometimes, says, chrysanthemum is good. Not, I think I mentioned the last year, is not like always do the competition with other beauties in the summer, beauty flowers in the summer and in the spring. She is not in hurry. Even very late, in the very late autumn, still beautiful is beautiful, is there. No need to compete with other summer flowers, with other flowers together, no competition. That's literalities appreciate, the part of that. Just very proud of respect themselves already. Okay. time is flying, and see you next class, and we'll continue to do colorful chrysanthemum and for the whole painting and